Today we're making some mango salsa chicken tacos because mango salsa is one of my favorite things to eat during the summer, so why not add it on top of some tacos? To begin, I have about 10 chicken thighs here and I went ahead and added all of my seasonings. I'll have everything on the screen for you guys. Toss everything together and then you're going to cook it in some olive oil on medium heat for about 4 minutes on each side. You want your chicken skin to be nice and crispy, and of course you want your chicken to be cooked all the way through. Once your chicken is cooked, it should be nice and crispy on the outside but still nice and juicy, and you want to go ahead and chop that up and set it to the side. Now to begin on our salsa, I'm adding 2 diced mangoes, 1 diced avocado, and 1 small onion, 1 bell pepper. I recommend using a red one just to give it some more color, but I didn't have one, a few habaneros to give it some heat, a handful of cilantro, 3 tablespoons of olive oil and lime juice, some salt to taste, as well as some tomatoes, and toss that and set it to the side. To assemble, toast up some corn tortillas, add your chicken, your salsa. I also made some cilantro lime mayo. The ingredients will be in the comments, and you're done.
This is a medieval turkey leg. Forget about the overcooked sandpaper meat that's served at Thanksgiving. Today is all about the dark meat, which is much more flavorful than the white. The humble turkey leg is a prime example of how turkey does not have to suck. I've gone ahead and cut away the tough skin and snipped the long, tough feather bones to create a handle. It's optional, but I do think it makes the eating experience more enjoyable. We will now employ an ancient medieval technique called sous vide. Season the legs, then in go a bit of aromatics and fat in the bag with the... Now to make a savory glaze with maple sherry vinegar and a bit of fish sauce at the end there. Now we're gonna pop these turkey legs over some hot coals just to get that grilled charred effect. Remember, we're doing this for flavor. These are already cooked, so don't leave these on too long. Periodically glaze and flip a couple times. Serve with some delicious and nutritious peas pottage and yaguchi. That there is a bloody gorgeous looking turkey leg.
Today we're making a really easy and delicious dinner idea, which is shrimp fajitas, and it should only take you about 20 minutes, so this is how I made it. We're going to begin by seasoning about 32 ounces of shrimp, and you want to toss your shrimp and seasonings together, and then we're going to add in our butter and mix it one more time. Once your shrimp is nice and coated, we're going to add it to a saucepan with a little bit of olive oil, and you don't want to cook it all the way, just until it's about done, and then we're going to take it out of our pan and add in our thinly sliced veggies. Here I'm adding in 1 large onion, and I sauteed that for about 3 minutes or until it was lightly translucent. Then I went ahead and added in my 3 thinly sliced bell peppers, 3 different colors. Saute them together for another 3 to 5 minutes, but keep in mind, if you want your bell peppers to have a nice crunch, you don't want to cook it for too long. Then add back in your shrimp and allow it to cook all the way through this time, and allow everything to simmer for about 3 more minutes, and you're done. Today we're making shrimp scampi as well as the cheddar bay biscuits from Red Lobster, and the recipe for the biscuits will be up right after this one. And now to begin, you want 1 stick of unsalted butter as well as a 1/2 cup of olive oil, and melt those together. Saute a handful of minced garlic for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then add in some red pepper flakes and let that saute for another 2 minutes. Now go ahead and add in your chopped bell peppers and let them saute for another 3 to 5 minutes. You don't want them to become too soft, you still want them to have a nice crunch. And then you're going to add in your shrimp as much as you'd like. And once your shrimp is cooked, go ahead and add in some cooked linguine and make sure to save some of your pasta water. And now finally, this is where we're going to add in all the flavors, so the lemon juice, salt, black pepper, parsley, and pasta water. And mix everything together, give it a taste, see if you'd like to add any more of whatever ingredient, and you're done.
Growing up, I never bought pasta sauce from the store because my mom taught me that homemade is healthier. So here's her 15-minute Alfredo pasta recipe. Boil your pasta and in a separate pan combine butter, garlic, basil, oregano, and some flour as a thickener. Next, add in your milk and cheese of choice as shown on the screen. I used Mott's and Parmesan. Finally, add in some pasta water to thicken your sauce. Add in your pasta and you're done. It's so easy, and that's why.
Today we're making Panera's mac and cheese, but 10 times better. This is probably, there's a weird truck that just stopped in front of my house. Oh, hell to the no. 1 second. Okay, anyways, to begin, you need 1 stick of unsalted butter, and you're going to melt it down, and then you're going to add in 2 tablespoons of flour and cook it down until it's a nice golden color, and then you're going to add in 4 cups of heavy cream. Next, you're going to melt in about 14 to 16 ounces of white cheddar, and then we're going to season. You're going to need about a teaspoon of white pepper, a teaspoon of mustard powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a tablespoon of garlic powder, as well as a dash of salt to taste. Mix everything together until smooth, and then you're going to add in about 16 ounces of cooked pasta. I'm using shells here. And this is definitely one of the easiest macaroni and cheese recipes that I have on my page, because you don't have to bake it or anything after, you're just ready to serve, so you're done. Today we're making mac and cheese balls or mac and cheese bites because I had some leftover mac and cheese from my video yesterday, so this is what I decided to do with it. My mac and cheese has already been in the fridge overnight, so I rolled some up and created a little pocket, stuffed it with extra mozzarella cheese, that's optional by the way. Dipped them into egg wash, then into my breadcrumbs, and I repeated that one more time, and I made sure to pack on the breadcrumbs. Let them sit in the fridge for about 30 minutes, and then you want to fry them on low to medium heat until they're nice and golden. It shouldn't take longer than 30 seconds to a minute, and serve it with whatever you'd like, and you're done. Today we're making everything bagel pretzel dogs. We're going to begin with our cheese sauce, which is extremely easy, so you want to start off with 1 can of evaporated milk, 8 ounces of whatever shredded cheese that you'd like, as well as all of the seasonings that I have displayed on the screen for you guys, and you want to simmer on low heat until it's nice and creamy like so. Go ahead and set that to the side, and we're going to get started on our dough. So you want to add 1.5 cups of warm water, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast, mix and let that rest for 10 minutes. After your 10 minutes, add in 4.5 cups of AP flour, 4 tablespoons of melted butter, as well as a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and you want to knead your dough for 10 minutes. Add your dough to an oiled bowl, cover, and let it rest for 1 hour. Then you're going to separate your dough like I did here, roll it out, and then you're going to wrap your hot dogs in your dough, and then boil them in your baking soda water. Add your hot dogs to a prepared baking sheet, brush with egg wash if you'd like them to be more golden, and then top them with your everything bagel seasoning. Bake at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, and you're done. Today we're making homemade blueberry jam. It's so much better than store-bought and a lot easier to make than you think, so here's how I made it. To begin, I'm adding 4 cups of blueberries to a saucepan, 1 cup of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Combine together well, then add to your stovetop. Let your mixture come to a boil while continuously stirring. After it comes to a boil, continue to stir for another 20 to 25 minutes. And once you see it start to thicken up and become the right consistency, you're ready to add it to your boiled mason jars, and you're done.
Are you suggesting a butterbeer float? Halflet, I think we have a new recipe to try. I'm ready. Okay, I got a new glass for this. I'm gonna rim the sides. Big ass scoop. More syrup. And switch. A tiny bit of gold glimmer. A shot of vanilla vodka and butterscotch schnapps. A little bit of cream soda. And after the cream soda, a little bit of ginger ale. Look it. Oh my god. It's so good!
Today we're remaking Trader Joe's ube tea cookies because I haven't seen anybody remake them yet, and I thought it would be a fun little challenge to share with you guys. So basically it's a shortbread cookie base with hints of vanilla and cinnamon, as well as ube flavorings, so this is how I made it. To begin, I'm using 16 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter, I have a cup of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, as well as a 4th teaspoon of cinnamon, and you want to beat that for about 5 to 10 minutes. Here I'm adding the rest of my ingredients. I'll have everything on the screen for you guys, and I mix until everything was well combined. You want to store it in the fridge for about 30 minutes so when we bake it, it holds its shape, and then we're going to scoop out a teaspoon worth of dough and roll them up, and it should make about 30 to 60 mini cookies. Fresh out of the oven, you want to roll it in powdered sugar, and then you're going to wait until they're completely cool, and then you're going to roll them up again, and that's pretty much it. You're done. And if Trader Joe's is watching this and you want to create a recipe with me or sponsor me, I would love that. Goodbye. Today I'm making these cookies inspired by the ones from the Sim Session Festival, and they're basically any milk chocolate lover's dreams, so let's get right into it. You want to begin by beating your butter and sugar together for at least 5 to 10 minutes. The longer you beat them together, the better your cookies will come out. Now after that, you're going to add in 2 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, as well as 3 tablespoons of milk, and you're going to mix that together for 1 minute until it's well incorporated. And now finally, you're going to add in all of your dry ingredients. I'll have everything on the screen for you guys. You're going to mix everything until well incorporated, and then you're going to roll them into about 10 large dough balls. And then for the fun part, you're going to stuff it with some more milk chocolate and top it with even more milk chocolate, and then bake it at 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes. And once they come out of the oven, they're the most perfect milk chocolate cookies you'll ever have, and you can experience more fun flavors with The Sims through their digital concert with BB Rexa. Today we're making a discontinued item from Crumble Cookies, which is the honey graham cracker cookie. You guys have been tagging me in their Instagram posts for the last month or so I decided it's time to recreate one of their cookies, so let's get right into it. We're going to begin by beating our butter and sugar together for at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to add in 2 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, as well as 3 tablespoons of milk, and go ahead and beat that for about 2 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Now we're going to add in all of our dry ingredients as well as 6 sheets of honey graham crackers, and you're going to mix everything until well combined, and roll up your dough into about 10 large dough balls and bake at 350 for 18 to 20 minutes. While our cookies are cooling, we're going to get started on the buttercream, and here I have 2 sticks of cold unsalted butter, and I beat my butter for about 10 minutes. Next I added in 3.5 cups of powdered sugar, 1 cup at a time, and beat 2 minutes in between each time I added more. Lastly, you want to flavor your buttercream with about 1 to 3 tablespoons of honey, depending on your preference, as well as a pinch of salt. Mix that up one more time, and you're ready to add it on top of your cookies. Finish them off with some graham cracker crumbs, as well as a piece of graham cracker and a drizzle of honey, and you're done. Today we're making Crumble's Snickerdoodle Cupcake Cookie, but 10 times better because I don't know why, but let's get into the recipe. To begin, you want to beat together your butter and sugar for at least 5 to 10 minutes. The longer you beat your butter and sugar together, the better your cookies will come out. And then we're going to add in our egg and vanilla extract and mix that together for 2 minutes, and then we're going to add in the rest of our ingredients. I'll have everything on the screen for you guys. Mix your batter until well combined, and then you're going to roll them into about 12 large dough balls, and we're going to roll it in some cinnamon sugar and bake at 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes. While our cookies are baking, we're going to beat together our butter and cream cheese for about 5 minutes or until it's light and fluffy. Then we're going to add in vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, as well as our sifted powdered sugar, and we're going to beat it together for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how fluffy you want it. And once you're done with that, you can add it to a piping bag and set it to the side. And you want to make sure your cookies are completely cooled once they come out of the oven before you add your frosting on them, but go ahead and decorate them once they are cooled. And I topped it with some more cinnamon sugar, and that's pretty much it. These were delicious, and we're done. Yep. Today for the French toast series, we're making caramelized French toast waffles, and they are strawberry cheesecake flavored. To begin, you basically want to whip up your favorite waffle recipe and set it to the side, and then for our cream cheese mixture, I'll have everything on the screen for you guys and set that to the side as well. Here I'm adding about 1/2 cup of sugar, and depending on how much you like cinnamon, I would add about 1 to 3 tablespoons. And then for our liquid mixture, I'll have everything on the screen for you guys, but you basically want to dip your waffle into your liquid and then into your cinnamon sugar. Toast it up in some butter on medium heat, but make sure you don't keep it on there too long because you don't want your cinnamon sugar to burn, and then you're ready to assemble. Layer your cream cheese mixture, some strawberries, some lemon zest, and you can finish it off with some powdered sugar, some more of your cream cheese mixture, as well as some caramel, and you're done.
I used to think that apple pie was super unhealthy, but my grandma's pie recipe has the freshest ingredients and right proportions so that even apple pie is a decent part of your diet. Dice up your apples, then add a stick of butter to a pan and let that simmer with some cinnamon and brown sugar. Then grab your dough and roll it out into 4 equal pieces, add in your apples, close it up, and top it off with some butter and bake at 350 for 20 minutes and enjoy.
Today we're making something inspired by one of my favorite Disney movies, which is Princess and the Frog. And if you don't have I just choked. Oh my god. Anyways, if you don't have an idea of what we're making already, we're basically making her beignets, but with a little matcha twist. So this is how I made it. I basically started off by mixing together my yeast mixture and letting it rest for 10 minutes. And then after those 10 minutes, I added in the rest of my ingredients and kneaded my dough for about 10 to 15 minutes. You want to add your dough to an oiled bowl, cover and let it rest for 1 hour in a warm place. And then after your hour is up, go ahead and add your dough to a lightly floured surface. Split your dough into 2 sections just so it's easier to work with, and you're going to roll it out as thin as I did here, and you're going to cut them into your little square shapes, and then you're going to let them rest for another 30 minutes. After your 30 minutes, you want to fry them on low to medium heat for about 15 seconds on each side. They really don't need that much time, so make sure you keep your eye on them. And then the last thing you need to do is add your little matcha powdered sugar mixture, and you're done. Today we're finally making homemade blueberry bagels because you guys have been yelling at me to post the recipe for like the last 5 weeks, so here we go. To begin, you want to mix together your yeast mixture, and we're going to cover it and let it rest for 10 minutes. After those 10 minutes, you want to add in the rest of your ingredients, and we're going to knead our dough for another 10 minutes. And then after we're done kneading our dough, we're going to add it to a lightly floured surface, separate it into about 8 to 10 dough balls, and then we're going to let our dough balls rest for another 5 minutes. And now it's time to shape our bagels, so you basically just want to copy what I'm doing on screen and let them rest for another 30 minutes. And after our 30 minutes, we're going to boil them in a pot of water and a quarter cup of brown sugar. You want to boil them for about 30 seconds on each side, and then add to a prepared baking sheet, sprinkle with some sugar, and we're going to bake at 395 for 12 minutes, and then cover with foil and bake for another 15 minutes. Finally, add whatever filling you'd like, and you're done. Today we're making blueberry scones, and I honestly think they're gonna become a weekend staple because they came out way better than I expected. I loved the texture and they were so flavorful, so this is how I made them. 3 cups of AP flour, a third cup of sugar and brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, the zest of 1 lemon, and a tablespoon of baking powder, as well as a teaspoon of cinnamon and a 4th teaspoon of nutmeg. Give it a good stir, then add in 1 stick of cold unsalted butter chopped. You're basically going to knead the mixture with your hand until it turns into a sand-like texture. Now for our wet ingredients, you're going to add 1 egg and 3/4 cups of heavy cream, a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, and a teaspoon and a half of vanilla extract. Mix, and then you're going to add your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients. Mix into a rough dough, then you want to add in about a handful of fresh blueberries. Add your dough to a lightly floured surface, and you want to knead it until it's somewhat smooth. Then you're going to pat it down into a circle and cut out 8 triangles. Add to a prepared baking sheet, and you want to brush with egg wash and bake at 365 for about 20 to 30 minutes, and you're done. Today we're making the Texas Roadhouse rolls and the cinnamon butter, but 10 times better. Also, the cinnamon butter will be up in my next video, but I'll post both of them at the same time so you guys don't kill me. But to begin, here I'm adding 2.5 teaspoons of extra dry yeast, 1 cup of warm water, and a quarter cup of honey mixed together, and let it rest for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, add in 4 cups of AP flour, 1 egg, 5 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. You want to knead your dough for 10 minutes, then add it to an oiled bowl, cover, and let it rest for 1 hour. After your 1 hour is up, you want to add your dough to a lightly floured surface, and you're going to start rolling it out. You don't want to roll it out too thin. This is the thickness that you guys should strive for. Then cut them into strips, and then you're going to fold them over, cut them again, and repeat until all of your dough is done. Cover your dough again, and you're going to let them rest for another 15 minutes. After your 15 minutes, you're going to add your dough to a prepared baking sheet, and you're going to brush on some egg wash and bake at 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes. Brush them with some butter if you'd like, serve them with your little cinnamon butter, and you're done.
Hey chef, the woman who ordered the lasagna sent back cookies for you guys. What? She did? Why? She said the lasagna was delicious and she had these and she wanted to do something nice for you guys. She doesn't pay for her meal tonight. It's on the house. And you know what? Give me a second. I'm going to wrap her up some more of the lasagna. She's taking it home.